We've got more wedding drama. The title, do you guys get it? You know the song, going. You get it? Anyways, first story. So my sister is having her wedding on the 1st of April, and I'm the only one who knows. So a month and a half ago, my 35 female, youngest sister, 29 female, called me and asked for a favor to get ordained and perform her wedding on her birthday, April 1st. Now I want to say, for a multitude of reasons, I think this is a bad idea. And as a fantastic and supportive sister, I agreed after telling her that it was a bad idea. Is this an April Fool's prank because it's April 1st? Now to explain why I think this is going to go horribly and what is going to cause family drama. So this will be my sister's second marriage and only her third serious relationship. Her first marriage was straight out of high school at 18 to a boy she had been dating for 3 years. She had big plans that never materialized, and after a couple years, they had my nephew, who is now 9. But the marriage fell apart due to many reasons, the biggest being an affair with his best friend, which was discovered when her former husband found them together on a picnic table in the local park one night. Needless to say, they separated after that. Yeah, needless to friggin' say. Shortly after, my sister found out she was pregnant with my niece, who is now 6, which is said to be the kid of her affair partner. Second relationship partner. So the affair partner was the second relationship that she ever had. So we're gonna call him B, I guess. They went on to get a house together and plan a future, as well as have another child together, a nephew, now age 3. Unfortunately, around the same time, A left this world. A is boyfriend number 1. Left this world far too soon and very unexpectedly. That's devastating. B really stepped up as a father to my oldest nephew at the time, and by the time my youngest nephew was 2, my sister had convinced him to propose, and they had been planning to get married in August of 2025. But B liked to talk to other girls over the internet and sent them gifts and money. He never actually met up with any of them in person, but still cheated. How shocking from someone that slept with his best friend's wife. I know. Right, he is a fair partner. I forgot that detail. So in May of 2025, my sister left him and moved out with the kids. My sister then had a couple rebound relationships, none lasting more than a couple weeks, until she started dating a coworker of hers in late September, early October of 2025, who we will now call partner C. By mid-November 2025, C was living with my sister and her kids full time. This upset B, who had been working easily with my sister with childcare until this time, so neither of them needed to really do the custody battle thing. And he started to make custody and things difficult, but not hostile in any way, leading to court getting dragged in. Man, she don't like being single, eh? To each their own. To each their own. I'm just saying, like, girl, how do you heal between these relationships? It's a lot to process. Needless to say, we all thought my sister was moving way too fast with her relationship with C, and I told her I thought this wedding was way too fast and probably a bad idea, but she insists that her and C just click and they feel right. So her life is her choice, and now I'm ordained and I'm going to perform their wedding on April Fools. Now for the family drama that shall be ensuing. Like I said at the beginning, I'm the only family member that knows about the wedding on both sides. Now, my father was not invited to my sister's first wedding as they weren't talking because he and my stepmother skipped her graduation and the little contact they had from her moving in with our bio mom at 14, and went to no contact until she was pregnant with her first kid. It should also be noted, our father is an ordained minister and has performed several weddings and other ceremonies, so we think he may be upset at just giving her away or having me do the wedding ceremony, which I have planned the hell out of and spent way too much time and money to be able to do. Our stepmother father has to be the center of attention for everything. And who knows how everyone else is going to respond when the dinner turns out to be a wedding. It's being hosted at C's parents' house. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of worried about the backlash I'm gonna get for helping and participating in this, in the not so funny April Fool's shenanigan. Note, this is not a shotgun wedding. My sister took care of that after her third kid. And for those of you who want to know, her current partner C is 27 male. So she's hosting a dinner at his house and they're just gonna show up there and be like, surprise, it's our wedding.
It's a surprise.
We're married. Terrible idea. Surely they're gonna think it's an April Fool's joke. Let's go to the next update. So to summarize, we ended up having to do 2 weddings due to paperwork issues. The first was the official one, which we rushed through the I do's and exchanged rings and pronounced them married with just the kids present. They were there to give my new brother-in-law permission to marry their mom. That night at the birthday party, we did a longer ceremony for the whole family. My father gave my sister away. Oh, my mother was happy. They added a hand fasting as she's Wiccan. My brother-in-law's mom and aunts were thrilled to be present. Okay. Brother-in-law's grandfather and uncles thought it was a joke. And honestly, the most dramatic moment is when I looked at his grandmother who went pale, and I was seriously worried for this woman's health for a moment, but after a few deep breaths, she was fine. My stepmother was the only one that was unhappy, but we just ignored her passive-aggressive comment that she hid from those that didn't really know her. Overall, it seems most of my concerns were just my anxiety about being the officiant, though I'm not going to delete anything from this post. My sister can be and is self-absorbed, but her kids are a priority, and my new brother-in-law is great with kids, and I haven't seen any of the kids so happy in a very long time. Okay, so went better than we freaking thought. Went way better than we thought. All right, crisis averted. Next story. Me, 30 female, friend, 29 female, isn't speaking to me after I RSVP'd no to her child-free wedding. This story came March 10th, 2014. I saw the recent post about the child-free wedding drama and decided to ask for some help of my own child-free wedding situation, although I'm not sure if there's really anything that can be done about it. One of my oldest and closest friends is getting married this spring on the other side of the country where she lives. Her wedding is going to be one of those huge, fancy gala affairs with an $80,000 price tag. She has been planning it for 3 years. It is a big deal to her. Over the years, I've been happy to help her plan her wedding and enthusiastically gave my input on photographers, venue choices, color schemes, etc. However, she decided she wants a child-free wedding. That's fine. It's her wedding. She has only thinly veiled contempt for children, which has been tough because I have an almost 3-year-old child. So I RSVP'd no to her wedding. I sent her a very nice, expensive gift along with the RSVP that I just couldn't make it work. The flight is so long, it would be terrible to go just for an overnight or a weekend. I'm not emotionally ready to be away from my daughter for longer than that. It didn't seem reasonable to make me have my husband and I each take a week or so off work so that we could fly there, only to have him stay in the hotel room with our daughter during the wedding. There was no solution of attending that was not awful for me, so I declined the invitation. She has not spoken to me since. It has been weeks. She's very wealthy, very beautiful, only child with a history of always getting what she wants. I am worried that our friendship is ruined. Did I screw up? Is there any way that I can salvage this? I know the mantra here is communicate, but she's not speaking to me, which makes it tough. Edit. It has been almost a month now since the last time we spoke, and I don't think that has ever happened in our 10+ years of friendship. So this is what I wrote to her. I am writing to you one final time to say how sorry I am, and if you ever want to write back, I will be waiting to hear from you. As I mentioned in my last emails and voicemails, I stupidly assumed that you knew we might not be able to make it to the wedding. I see now that assumption was completely in error and you were counting on me to be there. I should have called you to talk about it before sending off that RSVP. I just dropped it in the mail after my husband and I concluded that we could not make it happen. I should have not made any assumption. I should have just talked to you. I am so sorry. And if there is any way I can make make this up to you, please just tell me. If it really is important to you that I come to the wedding, I can fly overnight on Friday to spend Saturday helping you prepare, and then fly home overnight on Sunday. My husband will have to stay home with our daughter though, so unfortunately, he will not be able to make your weekend events or your fiancés with all the guys. I know how much work you put into planning everything, and I am so sorry that we will not be able to come for all of it, since I won't be there for the spa day either. If you ever want to come visit us, we could go just the two of us, my treat. But I know it's hard for you to travel out here because of your fiance. I don't want to make things any worse between us, but I do want to be honest. It hurt my feelings that you excluded my daughter. She is such an important part of my life, and you have never seemed happy for me. This is so petty, but you've never even liked a picture of her on my Facebook. Not that it's important for you to do that, but it would be a nice small gesture to show your support. I understand that you didn't want to come for my baby shower, but I feel like it has been pretty clear that you just don't like my daughter when you've never even met her. I wish you could give her a chance. I know I'm biased, but she is a pretty great kid. Like I said, I don't want to make it worse, but I do want to be completely honest with you. I hope we can put this conflict behind us. The last thing I would want to do is add any stress or complications to your wedding. I know how hard you've worked putting together an elegant and special day, and I am so happy that you and fiance are going to have the celebration you have dreamed of for so many years. And even if you got married at the courthouse, you would still be the most in love couple I know. Please accept my apology. Please talk to me so we can put this behind us. You can call, email, G-chat, text, whatever you want. If you want to take a few days to think about it, I totally understand that too. Just please don't shut me out. I won't try calling or emailing again. I will just wait to hear from you, and I hope I do. I guess let's see if she did in fact hear from her or not. The next update came 5 days later. I waited to post this until the weekend because the reaction to the original post was so harsh. I had to leave work early in tears. My responses to comments were downvoted past -500. The commenters called me a biatch, hideous, spoiled, entitled, bad parent, and so on. A few people sent me private messages with actual advice, but they didn't want to post them publicly because anyone who didn't come at me with pitchforks was downvoted below 0. I will post more defensive stuff after the actual update. Here's what happened. I sent my friend that apologetic email. At the advice I got here, I didn't try to raise any of the issues I had with her. I just apologized over and over and begged for her forgiveness. Oh, so that's not what you actually sent to her. That's what you were planning on sending? So you took out the part where you said she didn't like your daughter. Got it. She continued to ignore me, but her fiance called me drunk late that night. It turns out that every single one of her girlfriends have chosen not to attend the wedding. Since I am long distance, I didn't know this, but she had a huge falling out with her entire friend group, mainly over her bridezilla-esque behavior and comments like, I don't know how to interact with fat people, they make me uncomfortable. Every one of her local friends had already decided to boycott the wedding / end the friendship. So I was the only one that she had left planning to come. My friend's husband told me all of this while telling me that I was a effing biatch and that I ruined her wedding. He also repeatedly brought up, you know how much we spent on this, and told me I don't deserve someone like her as a friend. I am not sure what to do at this point, or if I'm even still invited to the wedding. I feel terrible for her and completely understand why she's not speaking to me now. I wish she had told me earlier how bad things had gotten with her local friends. If she continues not to speak to me, I suppose that is the resolution, although not a happy one. Now, to defend myself against the vicious attacks that came at me in my last post, I want to clarify why I chose not to go. A lot of people said that I was making excuses, but it was really all the factors put together that made it too inconvenient. The options as I saw them were: Number 1, attend alone for a weekend, undesirable because it's a long flight and a lot of money to spend for a single weekend. It's possible, but sounds miserable to me. Some people commented that they've done the cross-country flight there and back in a single day. Good for you guys, but it sounds too unpleasant to me, and I didn't want to do that. Next option, go for a longer trip, alone. I could have potentially made a longer vacation out of it to give myself time to recover from the flight, jet lag, etc. But I don't want to leave my daughter for longer than a weekend. It's hard on her, hard on my husband, and hard on me. I would just miss her too much. My husband and I are both attorneys and we work long hours, and I already feel like I miss out on a lot of time with my daughter. So taking an entire week away would be too hard on me emotionally, and I didn't want to do that. Next option, go with the whole family. Husband and I both have to take time off work, so this would probably be our only vacation for the year. We would have to somehow arrange childcare on the other side of the country, or my husband would have to miss the wedding. All of these are possible, but they sounded so undesirable that we agreed I would just send my congratulations and a gift and miss the wedding. I really didn't think it was that big of a deal because, as I mentioned in a comment, and someone said I should have put it in my original post, she actually missed my wedding because of her husband's flying phobia. It did not offend me at all. I understood perfectly well, and I had a very nice wedding anyway. Okay, that is an important part to add. She didn't come to your wedding. Her husband has the flying phobia, but she still could have came, and she chose not to because she said that was best for her, and I guess you're doing the same. To the people who said the friendship sounded like it had run its course, you are probably right. It makes me really sad because we went through a lot together. We met when we were 18 or 19 and both worked in the modeling industry, although my time there was short. And we dealt with substance abuse and eating disorders and a lot of other heavy stuff. We supported each other through those things, and I thought we were going to be friends for life, which is probably part of why it was hard for me that she didn't support me when I went through my biggest transition in life of when I became a parent. Yeah, let's not also forget all of that. She didn't go to your baby shower. It's hard when you live that far apart to maintain those friendships in every way, you know, in every exciting part of life. Sometimes you just can't make it to things, you know? Before we move on to some more drama, we need to drink some water. Cheers. You guys, my hair is getting so long. Yeah, I don't really cut my hair very often. You know, a little trim here or there, but it is getting so long these days, and I'm not mad about it. Should I just keep going down here? That would be something. Next story, my mother, the momzilla of epic proportions. My fiance and I got engaged in December of 2024, planning an October 2026 wedding, and have had awful luck with venues. We finally found our venue in September, but we were cutting it close on affording our end of the venue, catering included, with both of us working. Then in January, we both lost our jobs within 2 weeks of each other, so sadly we were forced to cancel our venue. My mother offered us $10,000 for the wedding and paid the deposit on the venue, which cost her to lose most of it. We were distraught about the situation, but my mother kept insisting this decision was our choice, not forced on us. Despite the lack of empathy, she helped us with a new venue for a much smaller wedding and was angry about not being able to invite her 16 friends. My fiance did not want them there from the start, and because she's pissed about the smaller venue, is now saying she's not bringing my grandmother to the wedding, and she doesn't want to throw me a bridal shower. At every step involving my mother has been a nightmare and even ruined my dress shopping experience because my bridesmaids were there and she expected me to only include her. Despite her being extremely rude to everyone that day and guilting me about including my bridesmaids, it was still the best part of wedding planning. The latest blow up was when we told her we booked a caterer and her accommodations the weekend of the wedding. She went nuclear when we told her she wasn't going to be staying at the Airbnb our wedding party booked, saying that we aren't including her in the wedding. We needed the wedding party to help set up the reception, which she was already included in when wedding planning, and made that detail clear when we changed the venue. She is now not interested in assisting with planning and threatening not to come to the wedding. Some background is my parents are divorced and my dad is in very bad health, so he is unable to come, and the majority of my family is my mother's side, who she's now telling not to come to my wedding. So now it's looking like the only family I have there is my brother and sister-in-law, and it's extremely upsetting upsetting to think my mother would go this far because she didn't get what she wanted. From the start, she's had this idea of her place in the wedding and that the mother of the bride is high position, and at every step she's felt entitled to having more control and argued every decision we have made. My mother and I were not close growing up and had more of an authoritarian presence in my life, which she's now proving is still to be true despite being almost 40. Now that I'm getting married, she wants to rush in and act like we've always been close when it's been the total opposite, and has made very little effort to spend time with us as a couple. All of a sudden, she's interested in spending time with us only to discuss wedding planning, and the $10K in help that she offered came with unknown contingencies. Now that she's threatening not to come along, and she's telling my family to do the same. I'm deeply hurt, but also a little relieved. My fiance and I just want our wedding to be a joyful experience for all, and the relief of her not being there to potentially ruin it, sadly, it's not a concern anymore. I feel terrible for feeling this way about my mother, and I don't know what else to do at this point. It definitely doesn't help that she's paying for stuff, because then she's definitely going to feel entitled to making decisions because she's paying. I've seen that so many times where they're like, well, I'm paying for it. So they, like to throw that in there with the decision making. But also, I still think she's going to be there. I don't think there's any way she's going to miss it. I do think she would show up no matter what. Just my opinion. Next story. I've stood down from the bridal party as maid of honor because the groom cheated. I'm gonna drop the lore here because I feel like ranting. Well, thank you for being here. In January 2025, my female 27 friend of 7 years, Beth, female 27, asked me to be her maid of honor. I was delighted as we were only 26 at the time and I've never done anything like this before, so I said yes. The wedding was scheduled for the summer of 2026. I have always had concerns about Beth's relationship with her fiance, Ben. They have been together since they were 19. Ben had slept with a lot of women before Beth, and she had only ever slept with him. She questioned this for years and was having full-on breakdowns about how she's never been with anyone else. She proposed a threesome or an open relationship at one point, and he said absolutely not. On top of this, Ben has very publicly followed literally thousands of very sexual accounts on Instagram of cam girls and OF girls, some of them just freshly 18. Beth told me this made her insecure and she brought it up to him. He said he understood and would refrain from that behavior. He unfollowed probably around 700 people, but then there were still hundreds and the number crept back up again. Beth decided to ignore it after that. They moved in together at 23 and got engaged only 1 month after. Beth had been talking about getting a ring for years and really wouldn't let it go, constantly making jabs at him for putting a ring on it, blah, blah, blah. They were desperate to have kids as well, so they tried a lot in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and unfortunately, there have been a couple of miscarriages. Throughout all of this, I just thought, okay, well, they love each other. Maybe she's decided that she's okay with his Instagram antics, and that's just how they are. That's okay as long as they're happy, and they seemed super happy and in love. We did a lot of trips and activities as a 4 with my partner too, and he became good friends with Ben as well. Things were looking up. We were all excited for the wedding until October 2025. I received a screenshot from Beth of a girl who sent her a message on Instagram claiming that she cheated with Ben. Ben didn't believe it and said it was a scam. I immediately knew it was true. I told her she needs to keep digging and asked the girl for proof. The girl came through with proof. This happened in spring of 2025 on their family holiday, where he left Beth sleeping in the hotel room while he met a girl on the beach, went back to her hotel and tried to her, but apparently couldn't get it up. Then came home, greeted Beth's parents at the hotel, and climbed back into bed with Beth like nothing ever happened. Beth had no reason to question him at all from spring until October 2025 when she received the message. He had no intention on telling her clearly. Beth spent one night at her mother's place when she found out, then went right back to the apartment the next day. I was mortified. I couldn't believe how easily she let him back in. I've made my my partner's grovel for much less. When this happened, I was angry. I knew our values didn't align. Then a few days later, she's messaging me about bridesmaid dresses like nothing happened. WTF. We had so many deep conversations where I expressed all my concerns, every concern you can think of with a cheater. And she beat down every single one. She said they're now going to therapy and she believes that he will never do it again. She said she wants this life with him against all odds. She said they're using the wedding as a celebration for how far they've come. Trust me, I've dissected it all with her and she is hell-bent on this union. I told her months ago I didn't even want to talk about the wedding because of all this. I didn't feel excited and happy about it. She knew exactly how I felt and still expected me to be maid of honor and carry out my duties as her friend. In the meantime, I stopped inviting Ben to social gatherings and I just invited Beth. I didn't go around their apartment anymore like I used to. Beth told me not to tell my own partner about this because she didn't want Ben to lose any friends and she was worried about his mental health. She called me out for avoiding her apartment and for not inviting him places, saying that I need to accept that he's going to be her husband, and if I can't accept that and include him, it's going to be a problem. From then on, I knew it was going to be a problem because I seriously don't like this guy and I don't like their relationship. I knew I wasn't going to include him again. She said that he loves my friends and wants to see them, so that I should include him. Hell no, they are my friends and I don't want to see him. She had many requests and it all felt super tone deaf. Cheating is one of my greatest triggers and fears. I come from a family that was broken by it. I've been emotionally cheated on by an ex and it ruined me. She is aware of this too. I have planned her bachelorette for her, which has been hard, and the whole time I've just thought, how on earth can I be maid of honor when I hate the groom and I hate what's happening? But I try to push through because I know how important all of this is for her. This is her whole life and personality, honestly. She has one other bridesmaid, that is Ben's sister, and she has not told a single soul about what has happened with Ben. So I have no one else to confide in about this, and it's a lonely place to be. After I was scheduled for a 7:30 a.m. makeup on the day of the wedding, I thought this is enough. I crafted a message to Beth to say I am not able to be the support and maid of honor that she needs. I said she deserves to have someone who can share her happiness and excitement, and I am unable to do that. And I've stepped down. She replied that everything is booked and scheduled, and me stepping down is her worst fear. Honestly, concerning her worst fear is me stepping down and not that the groom cheats. The wedding is in 2 months, and I just can't force it any longer. It's taken up way too much of my headspace, and I am resentful of that. I had to mute her Instagram stories for months because of how much she posts about having a quiet and peaceful life and how much she loves her partner. How can I stand up and support the union when I can't even watch her Instagram stories? I do feel bad that it's come to this, but I just can't fake it or force it anymore. Marriage is a big deal, and I take it seriously. We are only 27. The thought of willingly marrying someone who's cheated on you is terrifying, that's all. So you're not even coming here for advice. You have made your decision and you are just sharing it. This is complicated because I get it. I would feel some type of way if my best friend was about to marry someone who cheated on her. I would have so much anger towards that man, and that would be hard, very hard to accept. But at the same time, it's like, that is her decision. We're adults. She is choosing him to be her husband. He's going to be her husband. What are you gonna do moving forward? Like, keep her at arm's length, not have any friendship? Oh, that's tricky. What do you guys think? How would you approach the situation? Do you think she's wrong to do that? Do you think she's right to do that? Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.